The first head coaching domino falls as John Harbaugh goes to the Giants, and our picks for the divisional round are all coming your way today on the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast.
You are Locked On NFL Scouting with the Draft Dudes, your daily podcast for NFL and college football scouting. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's better than this? It's guys being dudes here on the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network. We're the Draft Dudes. I'm Joe Marino from Locked On Bills. He's Kyle Crabbs from Locked On Dolphins, and we are your NFL experts here with you daily to talk team building across the league on the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast with the Draft Dudes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Want to issue a big thank you, shout out, and welcome to our everydayers. Those of you who never miss a single episode, we appreciate y'all being here very, very much. Today's episode is sponsored by Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup.
Joe, happy Thursday. Happy victory Thursday to the New York Giants. First head coach landing. It's John Harbaugh. Obviously, a lot of excitement there. Eager to see how quickly some of these other dominoes fall now that there's so many, right? Kind of felt like Atlanta, Tennessee, who was kind of next in line, kind of felt like they were kind of waiting to get their swing of the bat at Harbaugh. And obviously, it doesn't come. And do they have somebody else in mind? Now, I know Tennessee is compliant with the hiring policies and the Rooney rules, so like they can hire somebody today if they wanted to and pivot if they really like somebody. The rest of these teams still have some work to do in that regard.
It's good to get one to fall here. There's always a really important element to that where, you know, if you're wanting to get Harbaugh, it's over, right? He's the Giants. He's the Giants head coach. So you don't have to move on.
Right.
And it becomes really important as you got to fill out a staff, you know? And you one of those teams that waits, well, guess what? Your pool of candidates for your positions on your staff really, becomes dwindled down. So I think that's one of the big advantages of the Giants. And obviously they moved on from Daboll during the season. Tennessee obviously all did the same. You saw the Dolphins, they moved on from Chris Greer during the season. They got it done, right? And that's use that to your advantage for the advantage that you created by making that choice. And so I'm sure the excitement is pretty large for Giants fans. Harbaugh's great, right? I mean, that's a heck of a hire, especially when you consider the cycle that they've been in after a ton of stability. Yeah. They've really been a revolving door, and now they've got somebody that looks like and has proven to be a guy that can be there for a long time.
And signing what's reported to be a 5-year deal. So pretty good runway here to kind of up the ante, and we'll try to build on the foundation of that roster with what Joe Schoen has put in place and has some familiarity with a lot of those players. Be eager to kind of dig in as we get further down the road into how it meshes with what Harbaugh did. I know Monken's expected to come with. I don't know that that's a done deal yet. I think Todd had some other interviews that he had taken or was going to take. But once all the dust settles, you said in the pre-show, we got to relearn a lot of these teams as far as the scheme changes, teams that just have a coordinator change. Like, what does that mean for the stylistic defense? And then these teams that have wholesale changes like this, there's going to be a few teams where we're in the getting to know you process for all of 2026. But for some teams, there's a really proven track record of what John Harbaugh has been and what the Giants have. It'll be fun to dig in and kind of see how it changes our perception of the roster.
I'm really interested to see the Todd Monken layer, because one of the things with Harbaugh is he's coordinator dependent, right? He's not a defensive guy. He's not an offensive guy. I mean, certainly his background coaching DBs and those types of things, but he's going to hire somebody that's going to be the play caller and coordinator on both sides of the ball. And with Monken, does he find aligning with Harbaugh with the Giants and the infrastructure of Malik Neighbors and Scatabo and Jackson Dart and some good offensive line, Theo Johnson, or are there opportunities that he likes more? I mean, Tampa, I think he's a candidate there. He was interviewed, if I'm not mistaken. Does he get a look with the Lions? Does he get a look with the Eagles? There's some big coordinator jobs that are available out there. And so I'm curious to see what happens with Monken.
Did we just come up with a show topic for next week?
Maybe.
Like, pick 5 or 6 coordinator vacancies that are still open and do matchmaker and pick which ones we like.
There's some good ones.
So, like, you're talking about Monken, and I think I would like Todd in Tampa Bay.
Where does Todd want to be?
That's the question I can't answer you. But I think the group that currently has the most attractive fit for Todd, I think, is in Tampa Bay. It's like I think the group that's most attractive for Mike McDaniel is in Detroit. Not show for the show, but
yeah. Careful. We can get down a rabbit hole here, man. You got my mind spinning there.
So who, if you had to choose, who's the next team to have a shoe drop, or does everybody kind of take like the weekend and the in-person stuff for guys that are with teams can only start on Monday in the first place? So, like, do you think somebody else kind of moves quickly? Do you anticipate everybody will take the weekend now that this is out of the way to kind of treat it like night 1 to night 2 of the NFL draft where you restack your board and you kind of get together and huddle up and talk about what's happening and then reset a new plan? Like, what do you think happens?
I think we'll get something before Monday. And the 2 teams that really pop for me is Tennessee, as we kind of talked about, as another team that's been able to be ahead of the process, and Miami. It feels like Miami wants to get it done.
Oh, Miami needs to get you need an in-person interview with one of your Rooney Rule qualifying candidates.
Oh, okay.
The best I know, Patrick Graham is scheduled to fly in on, this is per Josina Anderson, Patrick Graham is going to fly in on Sunday to interview on Monday for the first day of in-person interviews that guys that are employed by other teams are allowed to take.
Does Anthony Weaver not qualify? Did he not?
It has to be outside your own organization.
Oh, geez. Look, you're dialed in on the coaching search and all the stuff, man.
Yeah, I would do this a lot. How many times have I done it since you've done it?
I've not done it. So
it was 18 McDermott? McDermott got hired in 18?
17.
17? So I did the Flores, McDaniel. This is my 3rd head coaching hire since you've had your last one. So I understand you're a little rusty with the procedures.
They do change. In my defense, they change.
Yes, they do change. So. Yeah.
All right. Harbaugh to the Giants. Exciting times for the G-men. Excited to see the staff fill out and all the dominoes that go with it. We've also got playoff games that we're going to preview starting next. So, folks, be sure to stick with us. New year, new systems. This is the time when a lot of us look at the messier parts of how we run our business and think there's got to be a better way. And there is. Streamlining your communications is one of the quickest upgrades you can make. That's why today's episode is brought to you by Quo, spelled Quo, the smarter way to run your business communications. Because when your team is reachable, organized, and communicating in one place, you're not just working cleaner, you're creating more opportunities to connect with customers. I love how simple Quo makes everything. Your whole team can call and text from one shared business number, so nothing gets missed, and everyone sees the full conversation thread, which makes replies faster and more personal. It's going to work right from your phone or computer, and you can even keep your existing number. It's no surprise Quo is the #1 rated business phone system on G2, trusted by more than 90,000 businesses, from solo operators to growing teams. So make this the year where no opportunity and no customer slips away. Try Quo for free, plus 20% off your first 6 months when you go to quo.com/LockedOnNFL. That's QUO.com/LockedOnNFL. Quo, no missed calls, no missed customers. Hey guys, the draft pick positions are set, and so many teams are looking for their franchise quarterback. Ever wish to become a pro QB getting drafted first overall by your team? Well, now you can. There's a mobile game that's just for you called Ultimate QB Football Legend. In this game, you step into the cleats of a #1 draft pick quarterback, and it's your job to lead your team to greatness to help turn a failing franchise into a dynasty. This is the #1 QB career mode game on the mobile app stores, and it introduces the most realistic environments with full career control. You're going to sign contracts, train and upgrade yourself, build chemistry, and evolve your teammates, give input to the GM, and on the roster moves, you're going to play the actual games in 2D and rise through the ranks to become a pro football legend. You're going to deal with the ups and downs of a quarterback career, from rookie nerves to playoff drama, and every choice shapes your journey. Ultimate QB is totally free to play. It has no ads, and it works 100% offline, perfect for when you want to sneak in a quick game or two on the go. So just head over to ultimate-qb.com. That's ultimate-qb.com, or search for Ultimate QB in the App Store. And we got something special for you. Use our promo code Locked On, all caps, in the game store to get a free boost at the start of your career. Ultimate QB, football legend, QB1, it's your legacy.
Speaking of legacy, did you see the new renders for the Commanders Stadium?
I did, yeah. I like the
Holy
overall landscape,
smokes.
man. Looks nice.
Looks great, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And saw somewhere the foundation of the old stadium is going to be fused to the foundation of the old RFK Stadium because it's being put on the same plot of land.
I'm sure
So
that is helpful for costs.
They're literally going to put the new stadium on top of the foundation of the old stadium at RFK.
You know, look, the thing about these stadiums and a lot of things that are built, and I'm glad there are people that know how to do this stuff. It blows my mind, man. How do you even do this? How do you erect that structure? Some real thinkers out there that know a little bit more than, how to beat cover two.
You're much more well-versed in the stadium. I might know the coaching procedures. You know the stadium procedures better than I do. I mean, we were at that. You and me were at Highmark a couple years ago. It was a big holding ground. It's like, yeah, this is gonna be a new football stadium here.
And all of a sudden, ta-da!
There it is.
I had a friend the other day come up to me. He's like, "Hey, he works for like a Charlotte pipe company," and he's like, "Yeah, they ordered the pipes for the stadium from me." And I'm like, "Really? Like, isn't that crazy? You realize how much pipe you got? I mean, did you imagine the pipe just that goes into a stadium?" All right, we get off of this. We're gonna be in trouble here.
Speaking of the Bills,
yeah, there we go.
They play on Saturday at 30 in Mile High. Imagine all that.
Field.
Imagine all that pipe, but you got to take it up a mile high. Put it up mile high.
So it's a lot, and it's pretty high up. 5,280. I heard all about it.
Oh, I'm sure. It's just the latest and greatest in the Buffalo Bills against the elements, right? Last week it was come down to hot, steamy Jacksonville, and now it's Mile High, right? Like
it seems like 66 degrees in Jacksonville. Worked out pretty good.
In the pool, Deion Dawkins got a kick out of the folks in the pool.
Deion's going to get a kick out of everything. I think we can learn that.
Well, you could get a kick out of the ball with these K balls up there in Mile High with the altitude, right? You really drive the football. Try to get us back on track again. We'll see what happens.
Thank you.
The Broncos are favored by 1.5 at home. Pretty interesting rematch of last year's wild card matchup, which happened in Buffalo, which the Bills won handily. Obviously, very different team this time around for both teams, where Buffalo feel like they had some more questions this year from a personnel standpoint. Denver's record is obviously much improved another year under Sean Payton, but has found a way to win a lot of tight football games. And you expect this to be another tight football game with Buffalo's down another receiver with Shavers and the Broncos defense and that whole matchup in the first place. It's pretty interesting. Do you have like a big conviction point, like something that's going to swing the game one way or the other? Not to steal from all your Locked On Bills content and Crossover Thursday and all that stuff.
Yeah, I think there's a couple for Denver. It's got to be about their pass rush. They get a ton of sacks. They get a ton of pressure. Josh Allen hasn't quite been that dude under pressure this year like maybe he's been in the past, despite being that guy last week against Jacksonville. I think the Bills have a big assignment here with having the right pressure plan, which is probably all of the above. It's quick game. It's running the ball. It's play action. It's screens, a lot of different things that they're going to need to do to help keep Josh Allen upright. He's banged up, man. He's got a lot of different things, a finger, a foot, a knee. And, you want to mitigate those hits on Josh. For the Bills, I think it's about their run game, particularly with their inside run. Denver's defense is very good, but it's not necessarily the most stout run defense, especially between the tackles.
Well, you got Greenlaw coming back to play downhill.
They do. I still think the Bills have some challenges that they can present with James Cook and their inside run game.
Strictly a Sean Payton joke.
I know. I've made it like 3 times though. So then the radio, I did.
Tired of it.
Yeah. Well, because it's like an inside joke between him and that guy or whatever. So I don't want to like have the wrong read on the situation.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's Denver and the run defense, and then you also have the Bo Nix factor. Like he's been a little bit shaky this year. He's been better against man coverage. Well, guess what? The Bills aren't going to give you man coverage. They're going to give you split safeties and zone, and they've been really in their bag with disguise intentions. And so, how can they fool him? And Josh Allen's been better throwing the ball against zone than he has against man. And guess what? He's going to get against Denver, man. So
Oh,
you know,
and I think Denver should love that matchup, right? Of like their ability to match and play man.
for
And
sure.
I
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it in the same bucket as like Houston Pittsburgh last week. Like I don't think it's that severe of a matchup, but it reminded me of the same thing where you're looking at what Denver's secondary can do to match up,
Yeah.
and you're like, who's going to be your consistent winner here? It's got to be the tight ends, which I think the fact that they're probably going to have to play even more of the heavy personnel stuff
Yeah.
to help with the run game and then also get those matchups with size to help get you some winners against the safeties is, for me, the key to the game.
Right. I'm curious to see what they do with Pat Surtain. If they're going to play a lot of man, that opens up where they're going to play him. But do they look at any one Bills receiver as like, hey, we need to put Pat on him? I mean,
Dalton Kincaid.
maybe that's what they do. They did that with Kelsey, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think there's going to be is it
man.
Shakir, right? I mean, maybe McMillan lines up pretty well against Shakir. There's some interesting matchups here. I almost wonder if they play him more as like a field corner than somebody who follows. Maybe they would
let him cut the width of the field by putting him out there and eliminating that portion, that third of the field on the outside or whatever.
I think so. That'd be something I'd be thinking about. Because I mean, Kincaid's playing through like significant knee deal. He's got like a lot of instability in his leg. I don't know, what type of like route tree does he really have right now? Do you need to put Surtain on him? There's a lot there.
Well, it's time to make some picks, and then we got to get to the 49ers and Seahawks. I'm not going to make the same mistake again. I'm picking the Buffalo Bills to win this football game. I think there's some matchups in Denver that I think are favorable. I think there are for the Broncos, but I think the experience, I understand the Broncos are a big time rest advantage. I know they're getting extra prep coming in. Buffalo just feels like a team that's battle tested, and what I expect is going to be like a 3-point game either way. I would just pick them to not make one mistake. And I think this is a one mistake football game. Like, I think this is going to be very closely contested. So don't make the one mistake. But I would trust the team that's been there, done that much more to not be the one that makes it.
I'm picking the Bills as well. I am greatly concerned about the rest discrepancy here with the Broncos coming off of a bye and the Bills having 6 days between road playoff games. And look at the injury reports. Everyone on the Broncos 53 is practicing. The Bills had 15 players on theirs. I mean, they're limping to this game, but if Josh Allen plays like he did against Jacksonville, all right, I think it's going to be Buffalo. So put me down for the Bills.
The show likes Buffalo plus 1.5 to cover, plus 1.5. The Seahawks hosting the 49ers. This is the big spread of the weekend, but it's not a trademark uncomfortably large spread, which is good. It's only 7. I'd love it in real life if it was 6.5 to play it in real life.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, I'm going to pick the Seahawks to win this game. The 49ers are just off back-to-back wars in Seattle and in Philadelphia, and now you got to go back to Seattle, and now you don't have George Kittle. Like, at some point, enough's enough, right? And that's kind of where I'm at with San Francisco is Kyle Shanahan's before the playoffs was my pick for coach of the year. The fact that they got a playoff win in Philadelphia only like iterates why I felt the way that I did. But I don't know how you can now transcend George Kittle being out with a major injury as well with a short week going on the road again with how physical the last 2 football games have been.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think highly of Robert Saleh, but
Bobby Salads, right?
Man, it's a tough assignment with kind of what they're missing personnel wise. I do think that there's I hate to say it like this, but there's like a Panthers against the Rams mentality where the 49ers, like all the pressure's on Seattle. You're the 1 seed. You're the one at home. You're the rest. Like Sam Darnold in a big game. Like I think all of the pressure's on Seattle. So go play loose and compete, and you got good schemes on both sides. Like I'm not going to be totally surprised if San Francisco pulls this off, but it feels like the important advantages lie with Seattle. And as long as they like take care of the football like they're supposed to, which has been an issue, I think they're going to be fine. But they're going to play the game and see what happens.
They're going to play the game, see what happens. Seattle, don't give it away, because if you make mistakes, that's where you open the door for this game to get a little weird, where like we just got done talking Bills Broncos. Like I don't think the divide there between those two teams is super high, where I think there is separation between Seattle and San Francisco. But if you let them back in the game, they're a team that also has experience that will probably feel that momentum. And if you are shaky, you will fuel them into a potential upset bid.
I wonder how many coaches their first ever playoff game was as a 1 seed. That's got to be pretty unique, right?
I would imagine so.
Yeah, it'd be Mike McDonald, right? Because they won like 10 games last year and didn't make the playoffs.
playoffs.
Now they're the 1 seed hosting it. It's his playoff debut. It'd be interesting to see how common that is. All right, speaking of interesting, there's more games to get to on Sunday. Texans, Patriots, Rams, Bears. Give you our thoughts and picks here next. Folks, be sure to stick with us. As the new year gets going, a lot of people are trying to simplify their routines, and dinner is a big one. Between busy workdays, cold winter nights, and packed schedules, having an easy, reliable dinner plan makes a huge difference. That's where Home Chef comes in. Home Chef takes the stress of cooking by delivering fresh, pre-portioned ingredients right to your door with easy-to-follow recipes that actually taste great. They're rated #1 by users of other meal kits for quality, convenience, value, taste, and recipe ease, and it's easy to see why. The meals are going to come ready to fit in your schedule. 30-minute recipes, oven-ready trays, or quick lunches. There's over 30 weekly options, including family-sized meals and dietary choices if you have like a specific dietary choice. Recipes are simple but feel elevated, even restaurant quality, with dishes co-created by chefs like Gordon Ramsay. Everything arrives pre-portioned, so there's less prep, less mess, and no wasted food. It's going to save you time and money. In fact, Home Chef customers save an average of $86 per month on groceries. For a limited time, Home Chef is offering our listeners 50% off your first box, free shipping, and free dessert for life. Just go to homechef.com/LockedOnNFL. That's homechef.com/LockedOnNFL for 50% off your first box, free shipping, and free dessert for life. Must be an active subscriber to receive free dessert. If you've ever hired someone who looked good on paper but wasn't the right fit, you know how important that is. When you want candidates who truly match what you're looking for, trust Indeed sponsored jobs. Hiring, Indeed is all you need. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other sites. Indeed's sponsored jobs puts your post at the top of the page and helps you reach the right candidates faster. If you need to hire someone, you got to go straight to Indeed and be specific about what you need. Real experience, not just a resume buzzword. Instead of struggling to get your job post seen, Indeed sponsored jobs helps your listing stand out and reach quality candidates faster, so you can spend more time interviewing candidates who check all your boxes with less stress, less time, and more results using Indeed sponsored jobs. Listeners of this show get a $75 sponsored job credit to help give your job the premium placement it deserves at Indeed.com/LockedOnNFL. Just head to Indeed.com/LockedOnNFL right now and support the show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring, do it the right way with Indeed.
I have it.
All right.
I have the greatest first-year head coach of all time. And it could be Mike McDonald, but it's not yet.
Is it Mike Tomlin?
No. This guy won the Super Bowl by 45 points as the 1 seed, his first year as the head coach of this football team.
What?
Yeah.
45 points?
Yes.
Oh, is it John Gruden?
Oh. Good guess.
Is it Tony Dungy?
This was this man's first year as an NFL head coach.
And he won the Super Bowl, and the team won by 45 points.
And they went 14-2.
The fact that they won by 45 points sirens should be going off in my head that the team.
It was not the most recent Super Bowl to be played.
Okay, so it's going to be like Don Shula?
No, good guess. George Seifert.
Oh, baby. Yeah, that's kind of sort of, that's kind of sort of. He was around, man. He was an architect for that operation.
So George Seifert, defensive coordinator in San Francisco from 83 to 88, defensive backs coach from 80 to 82. So he was in San Francisco from 80 to 89 before he took over as the head coach. And they went 14-2, had the 1 seed, steamrolled absolutely everyone, and beat the Broncos in the Super Bowl 55-10.
Wow.
First year as a head coach in the NFL.
And then he was the Panthers head coach.
He pounded, baby.
I remember it well. We went Dom Capers to George Seifert, right?
Dude, how stupid is it? George Seifert went 14-2 in 3 of his first 4 seasons in the NFL.
I mean,
could you imagine starting your career 14, 14, 10, 14, 10, 13, 11, 12? That was the 49ers and 2 Super Bowl wins under George Seifert. We were on pace to be the greatest head coach of all time.
And then what? Steve Young was no longer in the mix.
Well, and then he left San Francisco after 96 and in Carolina 3 years, went 8-8, 7-9, and 1-15. That was all she wrote. Yeah, 1-15. What a way to go out, huh?
Yeah.
Buzzkill.
Yeah, not great. Not a great record.
All right, I digress. We'll talk about the team that eliminated the Panthers in just a minute, but we're going to start with the first game on Sunday. The show is taking Seattle, by the way, to cover the 7 points. So we're both all in lockstep thus far. Tim is boiling mad somewhere. We're at the 26-minute mark.
Oh, man. We had two different in the first 3 last week.
We did. We really set a precedent. Everybody went 4-2. The show against the spread, and you and I.
Yeah. 4-2. I just really enjoyed seeing the Packers blow it again, so. Like, whatever. Everybody missed the Eagles, right? You can live with it, right?
Right.
To be on the wrong side of the Packers again.
We'll see if we disagree on this one. The Texans, 3-point underdogs in Foxborough against the Patriots on Sunday.
How quickly can C.J. Stroud embrace the Brad Johnson role for this team?
Just don't give it away.
Just don't give it away, man. Like,
get out of the way. Hand the ball off. Easy completions. That's it.
He wants those big plays, man. He wants them. It's like, stop wanting them, dude. Just don't screw it up.
It's the forgetting Sarah Marshall learning how to surf thing. You just lay on the board and say, hey, you got to do less. You got to do less. And then he just lays on the board flat on his belly the whole time. He's like, oh, you got to do more than that, right? Like, you got to do more than just hand the ball off, but you got to do less, right? I like the Texans in this game, man. I really do. Defense. Man, they are so good defensively. And I get Drake May had a a MVP-worthy season. Sorry, I'm gassing up this Hall of Fame.
Good Lord, Kyle Crabbs.
The pass rush is
flip it, boys and girls.
Monsters. The pass rush is a bunch of monsters. The speed in the secondary, the confidence in which they play with, it's so good. I am pulling so desperately for a Houston-Seattle Super Bowl to watch that 9-6 game play out. What was that national championship where everybody just lost their minds? Was it Alabama LSU? And it was like field goal fest. It was like, this game sucks. And it's like, well, actually, if you like defense, this game's awesome.
Yeah. Man, I haven't even thought about the very real possibility of a Texans-Seahawks Super Bowl.
It'd be a war with those two defenses.
A couple of super mistake-prone quarterbacks, too.
Right.
Neither team is particularly good at running the ball. Boy, that could be a weird game. I hear you, man. And look, Texans pass rush is outstanding. And if there's kind of an area with Drake May, he still takes sacks, right? Like, that's an issue for him. I'm taking the better quarterback at home.
Okay.
That's really what it comes down to. Like, I can sit here and get all kind of gassed up on how good Houston's defense is, and I can think about, all right, the Patriots defense is okay, and maybe Houston can find some consistency there and just not lose it. But I've seen Drake May figure it out too much for me to think he's not going to figure it out in this one. So I'm going Patriots.
You love you some Drake May.
I do. I hate that about myself. I love everything about Drake May except for that he plays for the Patriots. I think he's a dog, man.
He's excellent.
My type of quarterback.
I just put him in the Hall of Fame after his.
I know. You're the one doing that. So
it's like our draft takes, right? Like, you think you like this guy? Watch how high I rank him. Right. Hall of Fame after 2 years.
Right.
The show likes Houston +3.
Okay.
Brings us to Rams-Bears. Rams favored by 3.5.
This is an impossible game to pick.
I don't think so.
Well, let me tell you why I think it's impossible, and you can tell me why it's easy.
Go ahead.
The Bears have not played good defense, but they just keep taking away the football, except for last week. Of course, they were -2 in takeaways. Their offense looks horrible for like large stretches of the game, but then just the fourth quarter happens, and all of a sudden, Caleb Williams is the most dynamic playmaker your eyes has ever seen. The Rams, they're not playing good ball, man. They're just not.
Right.
And they're capable. It's in Chicago. That probably helps the Bears, right? I mean, Sean McVay acting like he doesn't care about the weather, but it's going to be cold.
It's going to be a variable in the game for
single digits. I don't think wind's going to be a huge issue, but maybe some snow and cold. I mean, Stafford has mostly taken care of the football, but there's been some moments lately. So yeah, these are the things I'm thinking. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know what I'm clinging to. I think that the Rams offense is a problem for the Bears. I do.
I expect a lot of points in this game, yeah.
So that's what I'm wrestling with. What clarity do you have?
The Bears are this year's cockroach team. Just can't get rid of them.
But it doesn't mean they go to the NFC Championship game. Like,
they're at home. Raucous crowd. You can talk about the elements all you want. I mean, Chicago, say what you will about the Rams. The front does not have the best mass, right? Is that fair to say?
Right.
So can Chicago lean on him? I think if Carolina can lean on him and make some plays and have some throws, I certainly expect Caleb Williams to perform at least the level that Bryce Young gave the Panthers last week. I'm picking the Bears.
Oh, baby.
And the Rams have been the Super Bowl pick for me all year. But you said it yourself. They're not playing great football right now. Like, they are just not clicking the way that I think you need to be at this time of year. And Chicago finds a way to click it into gear. It's that this game's as simple as that to me, and then Chicago's at home.
I'm going to cling to this. I think the best run defense in this game is the Rams. And I think that's going to matter the most.
Okay.
I'm going with the Rams.
And the show likes the Rams -3.5 on the road to cover. It's me in Chicago again this week.
I know.
All by my lonesome again this week.
I'll be picking them next week in Seattle, though.
I would not pick them in Seattle. I'll tell you that.
I hope Tim stuck around to the end. I mean,
we got it.
What a banger of a segment 3 here with both games being different. So, under your plan, it's Bills at Houston.
Bills at Houston.
I got Bills at Patriots. My God,
why'd you do that? You didn't have to do that.
Keep
put
medical
in the Hall of Fame instead.
Medical professionals around my house for the whole week as I navigate that possibility, because both sides of that coin are they're too extreme for me. You either win and go to the Super Bowl, or you lose and the Patriots go to the Super Bowl.
And the Patriots go to the Super Bowl.
Oh God, kill me. Take me out before that game happens. I don't mean that. And then I have it Rams at Seahawks, and you have it Bears at Seahawks.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
There you go. We'll see how it plays out. Watch us be wrong on every game. It is that time of year, expecting a bunch of very competitive, exciting football games. We're excited to break them all down. Tomorrow we have takes on takes, of course. So give your takes to Joe when he solicits them. I'm sure he's going to go do that right now as I wrap up.
Good reminder, brother. Thank you.
Kyle Crabbs, Joe Marino. We are out of here. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll talk to you all again tomorrow.